Hi guys, welcome to day 5 of your 5-day sugar-free challenge. Day 5, which means we're at the end of the challenge. I'd love to know how you went. How did you go keeping the sugar out? Like we mentioned at the beginning, everyone's journey is completely different. Some of you don't have any refined sugar, but you just wanted to cut out maybe too much fruit or too many date balls. Some of you are reliant on Mars bars, Twix, the ice cream after dinner. So everyone's sort of at different places. So I'd love to know how you're doing, how you went over the 5 days. Maybe this isn't your 5th day. Maybe you're just joining us and it's your 3rd day, but I'd still love to know how you're doing. And, how you found the challenge. Did you find it easy? Did you find it hard? What did you find you got out of it? How did you feel after? I think it's really cool to see that. And I think sugar is one of the biggest things once people give up. They feel that, someone explained it to me very well yesterday, it's kind of that freedom. Once you get off the sugar roller coaster, you feel that freedom from sugars and sugary foods. You're not constantly thinking about them, and you can go about your day without thinking about when's the next snack coming in, when's the next sugary meal coming in, or that kind of mind chatter. So I'm really interested to hear how you all did, who stuck to it for the 5 days, and like I said, some of you may just be joining us now. But congratulations to those of you that have completed your 5 days. This is day 5, so you haven't quite completed it until the end. But congratulations anyway. I did really well. I didn't have any of my usual, I didn't buy a bounce ball. I don't think I've even had any, what did I have? Yeah, I've been having savoury breakfast, so I really hardly haven't had any sugar this week, even natural sugars, to be honest. Yeah, so I did really well. So this week, what have we talked about? We've talked about inflammation, we've talked about blood sugar causing water retention, we've talked about starches versus carbohydrate versus glucose. We've talked about all these things, what signs and symptoms to look out for, tips and tricks to get off sugar. We've talked about macronutrients and how to balance your breakfast, lunch and dinner. And we've talked about the right exercise for you, especially this week while you're coming off sugar. So lots of things for you to kind of digest and think about. I'm sure you've taken notes to have a think about that. Today I wanted to just focus on, this question's come up a few times and a few people have been asking me about snacks, the best kind of snacks to have. And I'm totally up there when I say snacks. I honestly think savoury snacks are the best way to go. And even fruit should be had later on in the day. I find myself, and you might see this in yourself, if you have a fruit snack, you end up getting hungry, or you end up craving more sugar, or you end up, wanting something else sweet. So I tend to like savoury snacks. Now, it's best to figure in when you're going to have your snacks. So I call them kind of like designated snack times. So fit your snacks in around your meal. So if you're going to have breakfast, lunch and dinner. Hi, Brooke, how are you going? Hi, I can't get away from fruit. Yeah, I mean, fruit's so refreshing. It's really good for you. Lots of vitamins. It's, especially in weather like this, it's super, super hydrating. Now, think about if it works for you. So for me, for instance, if I actually, to tell you the truth, I didn't have a proper breakfast this morning. So I've just been in a bit of a rush and I didn't have a proper breakfast this morning. But if I was going to have a piece of fruit now, Brooke, that would actually make me hungry and it would make me feel worse. So I'm better off just waiting, and I'll either have lunch or I might have a quick savoury snack before I go into the webinar, because I've got to do a webinar at 12:30. Some people are okay on fruit. If you find that fruit satiates you, a piece of fruit satiates you, it doesn't put your blood sugar out, it doesn't make you crave sugar, and it doesn't make you need more to snack on, then it's fine. But try not to graze on fruit through the day, because that is constantly then putting your blood glucose levels up. So try and just have, I personally think the best time to have fruit is later in the day, and even a little fruity treat after dinner is a nice thing. If I have fruit for breakfast, I'm hungry the rest of the day. But that's my metabolism, and everyone is so different. So if you're finding fruit is working for you, that's fine. If you're finding it's not working for you but you're still craving it, then that's that little bit of a sugar kind of addiction. And that's what the 5 days you need to take that fruit away and actually kind of reset your blood sugar levels, reset your body. So it really depends how you're so if you're finding it's bad for your blood sugar, Brooke, I would say then you need to use the 5-day sugar-free challenge to come off fruit. And I know that sounds a bit intense, and it's, fruit is healthy, but if it's affecting your blood sugar and if that's a snack you're going to. So I'll go through some snack options now, and I think maybe for you, organize yourself, get yourself, do 5 days of kind of like a savory breakfast, lunch and dinner, and then 2 savory snacks, and just stick to that for 5 days. I know that might be difficult, but that might just be that helps to reset you. I used to eat so much fruit, and it stems back to childhood. Fruit is healthy, and the problem is because fruit's healthy and because it's sugary, it tastes really great. Too healthy plus sugary together kind of blows it all out of proportion. And I think we've probably grown up. I've grown up eating too much fruit. I mean, I used to spend I would easily get through 5 satsumas in a day, an apple. What else did my parents have? I mean, satsumas was a big one. 5 or 6 in a day, easily as a child. 2 apples in a day, easily as a child. And then a banana, easily as a child. And then maybe if the nectarines are nice enough. So, I could, as a child, be getting up to like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of fruit a day. And that's just crazy. And even as I went into early adulthood, I would still have lots and lots of fruit. So I'd take to work, I'd probably take a banana, a nectarine and an apple. It's a lot of sugar through the day. And it's really hard to get off that. But once I got off that sugar, once I got off that fruit and stopped snacking on the fruit, it gave me that freedom, and I started not craving the sugar, and I started being satiated by the savoury. And it doesn't take long, Brooke, to actually switch that around, and then fruit's to you like a nice treat, and it's refreshing, because we don't want to demonise fruit, but it's the quantity that's the issue, and our reliance on it as a sugar rather than as a little healthy snack. But in terms of snacks, so remember how on the day 1 of this challenge we talked about macronutrients, and we talked about breakfast, lunch and dinner, balancing your macronutrients out, your fat, your protein and your carbohydrate, which is kind of your starchy portion of the macronutrient, and lots of fibre in terms of leafy greens. You can do the same with snacks. So everyone is satiated by a different snack. So for instance, if I was to have some nuts and seeds now, it wouldn't do anything for me. It just would not do anything for me. It's not it wouldn't work. Some people, nuts and seeds would work. So you have to figure out your best macronutrient ratio for snacks. So snacks that I find, there's different kinds of snacks. So we've got, say, a nice seeded, gluten-free paleo piece of toast with avocado on. So that's a combination of the starchy carb, and then you've got the fat from the avocado. That works perfectly for me as a snack. That's my go-to snack. Nice thin piece of paleo, sort of gluten-free, seeded bread, nice thin piece, and I normally put half an avocado on. That's perfect for me. That snack will regulate my blood sugar. That snack will keep me satiated until my next meal, which is either lunch or dinner. Jackie, so sourdough again. Sourdough is fine if you're okay with wheat and gluten. I know that wheat and gluten doesn't work well for me. It makes me foggy the next day, and it also gives me after a few days of eating wheat and gluten, Jackie, my knees get a little bit sore. And that just goes back to family history. So my mother suffers from arthritis, and I know that wheat and gluten, when there's any inflammatory disorders, it doesn't suit people with inflammatory issues. Some people are fine on sourdough. But I know for me, I can't do it every day. So I always do gluten-free, and occasionally I'll have a sourdough or some kind of nice quality wheat bread. But I won't buy a whole loaf. I would normally just have it at a cafe or something like that. So I love the toast with half an avocado, and sometimes I'll put a little bit of butter on there, and then I'll just put some salt and pepper on top. That's my snack. That's perfect. Some people would have that for a meal. That's not really enough for a meal. You would get hungry before your next meal. So that's a snack. Some people prefer more protein, so an egg would be a perfect snack for somebody. Again, for me, an egg wouldn't do it for me. It's not enough mix of fats and carbs. I need a little bit of carb in my snack. But what you could do is you could have the gluten-free toast, maybe with a little bit of butter on, and then you could slice or mash a whole boiled egg onto that, and that could be a snack. So that's a really good snack idea. Mix nuts and seeds. So if you just have almonds, it doesn't really have enough fat. So you need mixed nuts and seeds so you get the fat, the protein, and the starch. So pumpkin seeds mixed with maybe some macadamias, mixed with some walnuts, mixed with some, on-the-go snacks. Okay, got that. So on-the-go snacks would be your nuts and seed box. So make sure they're mixed. If you just go for one nut, you're not getting enough macronutrient combinations. So maybe take around some mixed nuts and seeds, and you would be going for about half a cup would be a snack of mixed nuts and seeds. Now that should be enough of your protein, your fat. So macadamias have the fat, almonds have protein, cashews have starch. So if you mix macadamias with cashews with almonds, or macadamias, cashews and pumpkin seeds, you're getting a really nice mix of your protein, your carbs, and your protein, carbs, and fats. So you can do that. That can work really nice. Sometimes that works nicely for me. So on-the-go snacks would be difficult. So if you're not taking nuts and seeds, you could take with you some vegetable sticks with either. You can try a couple of different types of dips. So you could try a guacamole avocado dip with your vegetable sticks. Vegetable sticks are your fiber, so they're filling. But then the only macronutrient you've got there is fat. So for some people, again, that wouldn't be enough. For me, actually, vegetable sticks with guacamole is a perfect snack. Or you could do vegetable sticks with something like a hummus, because then you've got a bit of protein and you've got your starch in with a hummus. So you could pack that and take that with you. Chia pods or chia puddings are a great snack. So you can either make that and take that with you. At a push, you could buy the chia pods. The lowest sugar chia pods from, say, the supermarket if you were really, really stuck. Again, if you were really, really, really super stuck, you could buy sort of a coconut yogurt or something from the supermarket or from a health food store. That's mainly your fat. You may need to sprinkle some nuts and seeds in there just to make it a little bit more satiating. So that's a really good snack. Another on-the-go snack, you could take a whole avocado with you, cut it in half, and you could have half an avocado. So that's fat though, so whether or not that would satiate you, you have to decide what macronutrient ratio works for you. Metabolically, we're all different, so some of us prefer more carbs, some of us prefer more fat, some of us are better on protein. What you have to look out for is, when you eat, do you feel satisfied? Do you feel satiated? Do you feel energized afterwards? Are you craving anything? If you're not craving and you feel energized and you feel satiated, you feel good after that snack or meal, that was a really great macronutrient ratio for you, and I would just remember that for next time. If after eating a snack or if after eating a main meal you're craving, you don't feel satiated, you feel hungry, you feel sluggish, lethargic, sick, dizzy, any of those negative symptoms after eating, then maybe that macronutrient wasn't correct for you. Another thing you could get on the go would be, even if you went to the health food store and you saw those protein balls, they all are quite high in sugar. So a lot of them have dates in. A lot of them might have added sugars in, like lots of honey and that kind of thing. So I find those aren't satiating. They're more likely going to put your blood sugar up. So nuts and seeds, chia pudding, even buying a green smoothie, or taking with you a little bit of a protein shake. You could take protein powder and you can then mix that up when you're out. That's a really sort of go-to, on-the-go kind of snack. I love that one. And then you get your protein that way. In health food stores, they do have, if you're going to get a protein, sort of a protein bar or a nut bar or something, opt for ones that are, the lowest sugar, the lowest amount of starch, the lowest amount of carbohydrate possible to help. But definitely from the supermarkets, they do have the chia puddings and the coconut yogurts, which are good sort of really go-to snacks. What was another good go-to? Some people have been eating these Quest bars, and they're not a very good everyday snack. If there's just nothing else going and you're in the supermarket, you could try a Quest bar. They're quite high in, they've got a lot of whey in, which can be quite inflammatory. Once in a while they can be okay. I will admit, once in a while I do have a Quest bar. It's just because they're so processed, they're not an everyday snack, and it's not an everyday healthy snack. But once in a while they're okay. Anything that's highly processed, like your protein bars, even protein powders that are highly processed, like, those whey ones with some really highly processed whey with lots of sort of sweeteners in. I can't think of the names, but I had one yesterday and actually made me feel so sick. I didn't. This is another thing about asking. So I asked them for. I said, "Can I have an almond protein shake?" And then I saw them making something up, and I didn't really ask what it was, and it made me feel so sick. It was like a peanut buttery flavory. I think it was. I can't remember the name of the brand, but it's like a really highly processed whey, which is really inflammatory. So you're probably better off not eating anything. Zucchini slice. Yeah, so anything that you make at home that you know what's in there. So anything. Some people might have a frittata. When you're out, actually, a small frittata. If you can tolerate eggs, a small frittata is fine. Zucchini slice is fine. Anything that's got lots of coconut oil is fine. So anything that you make or someone else has made, which are like slices with lots of coconut oil or nuts and seeds in, is fine as well. You just got to watch the sugar, the sugar content. But zucchini slices are fine. I know on the Breakthrough program, one of the snacks we recommend is your kale chips. You might want to have that with a dip though as well, the kale chips with something else, just so it satisfies you. Or even a nice little mix of nuts and seeds and kale chips in as well. I mean, that's a beautiful little mix. And I know I have a little superfood mix, which is nuts and seeds, some bee pollen, some dulce flakes, and I also put in a few goji berries as well. Very low sugar, but that's a really nice sort of like a superfood mix, and I really like that. The bee pollen has heaps and heaps of amino acids. You've got your nuts and seeds, and you've got a little bit of goji just to give it a little bit of a flavour. And I pack that in like little boxes like this, and I just take that with me, and I might have a handful as a snack if I'm kind of on the go. The other day, and so that's why it's kind of good, keep a teaspoon in your handbag kind of thing. So if you are stuck, you can nip into somewhere, again at a push. If you're stuck and there's just nothing else, and at a push, you could go for like a whole milk yogurt kind of thing if you tolerate dairy. But again, that's at a push. The yogurt's at a push. But you could. I saw in Woolers the other day, they've got like quark style yogurts. And so at a push, again, if you just had that and that's all you had, you could do that. So the things that you can do. Do you know protein shakes that might be good? So there's some nice kind of, you want to go for, the best ones to go for, Brooke, are anything that's kind of like rice-based, hemp-based, or a really clean whey protein that hasn't been heat-treated too much. So, okay, so whey, I would go for like a protein. You could take something like Sun Warrior, you could take a hemp, you could do the Rawsome. So there's a few out there that you can get and just mix them yourself. If you're in a cafe and they're doing protein shakes, just ask what they're doing, and you can always ask them to just blend you up something different. You could say, could I have some, a bit of coconut milk with some nuts and seeds, and or maybe nut butter and a little bit of banana or something, and just get them to blend you up something at a push. But definitely Sun Warrior, the nice brown rice protein powders are the best. They absorb nicely, and they're not as inflammatory as some of the whey. There are some good whey ones out there. New Zealand whey is the one to go for if you're going to get whey, and you just want to make sure that there's not lots of added flavours or sweeteners. So as plain as possible, just as plain as possible. So Karen just mentioned her go-to snack on the go was Carmen's original muesli bar. I would have a look on the ingredients. I do think Carmen's probably does put quite a bit of honey in. So just have a look on the ingredients. So have a look at the sugar portion and the starch portion. And what you want in your snack is you really don't want to be going over, you don't want the starch to be going over around 40%. And then if you've got the sugar on top of that, so I'm not sure, I wish I had my computer with me actually, because then I could have a quick look look at the percentage. I think I've done this before with someone. I've had a look at the percentage, Karen, but I'll have a look and then I'll post here. Actually, I'll just post in the comments. But you need to have a look at the starch and the sugar content of that, and just make sure that that's under the either protein or the fat. It needs to be under the protein or the fat. Otherwise, it would most likely be too high sugar. However, saying that, Karen, if you have your Carmen's muesli bar on the go, and you feel really good from it, and it doesn't affect you negatively, and it lasts until your next meal, you know, maybe it's working for you. But I've got a feeling they've got a lot of honey in. Just got a little bit of a feeling with those. So those would be all my, I'm just trying to think if I've forgotten anything. You know, green smoothie, I always blend up green smoothies, and I always keep them in a jar in the fridge, and that can be a really nice mid-morning snack as well, or a mid-afternoon snack. And on the go, I know on the go can be really difficult, but just look for things, you know, whole foods, lowest sugar as possible, and things that have either fat or protein in. You know, even just if you're, okay, at a push, we're doing at a push now. I'm just thinking at a push. You're out, you're on the road, and you haven't got any snacks on you. You can feel yourself getting hungry. You'd be better off, say, if there's a chicken shop, and stopping and getting a chicken drumstick than going for a sweet treat kind of thing. So that's just because that will balance out your blood sugar a little bit more, and it will satiate you. So just little things like that, just to remember, that can help. And you can easily buy some veggies and some hummus as well in the supermarket. Health food stores always got some great yogurts, some great coconut yogurts, kefirs, chia seed puddings, that kind of thing, pre-made. So there's lots of those. There's lots of those on the go. Caroline. So a banana's not bad. A banana's not bad. You have to gauge whether it works for you. So if, an example is me. If I was to have a banana, I'm a bit peckish now, just because I didn't have a proper breakfast. I'm a little bit hungry now. If I was to have a banana, it would wreck me for the whole day. It would send me on a sugar crave for the whole day. But if a banana works for you, Caroline, if you can have a banana and you feel really good off a banana, it doesn't make you crave sugar, and it makes you full till lunch or full till dinner, then that's fine. Bananas are, you know, they've got a lot of starch in. There's no protein and not really any fat in a banana. So your body is then running off the glucose and the starch that banana is giving you. Some people that works, but if you've got sensitive blood sugar like I do, then it wouldn't work. But gauge it. Have a banana as a snack and see, does it satiate you? Do you feel good after the banana? Does the banana keep you full until lunchtime? And then lunchtime you're happy for a savoury snack, and then you're not craving any sugars the rest of the day. If you eat a banana and you don't feel, and you an hour later you need something else, then no, the banana wasn't working for you. That's the trick. If you eat that piece of fruit and an hour later you need something else, then it's not working for you. But for some people, bananas are wonderful. You know, they've got lots of minerals in, they're healthy, they've got some starch in, and some people find them very, very satiating, and they're fine for their blood sugar. Others, it would just send them on a sugar binge, sugar crazy. But those would be my best go-to snacks to have. And you notice how I've really opted for savoury. Probably the closest to sweet would be the chia pudding and the green smoothie. When I make a green smoothie, normally about half a banana in there. But those would definitely be my go-to snacks. So I'm going to put a bit of a list together, but definitely in about, I don't know what the time is now, but at 12:30 today, so what, in about an hour, I'm doing a free live webinar with Brenda Janchik. We are focusing on diet and toxins today in relation to hormones. So 6 simple steps to reset your hormones and shed stubborn weight. So that's a free webinar in about an hour. That's okay, Caroline. In about an hour, we're actually going to go through in more detail macronutrients, balancing out your macronutrients, the right snacks, how to make your perfect meal. And then the second part of that webinar, the webinar will be about an hour long. The second part of that webinar is toxins and how toxins relate to stubborn weight, how if you're exposed to toxins, you won't be able to lose weight. Yeah, Jacqueline, meatballs for a snack would be fine. Yeah. Anything protein, fat, carb, small, savoury is good for a snack. You know, even like a small quinoa salad type thing, drizzled with a bit of olive oil or something like that. So, Brooke, the webinar will be recorded. It's going to be available until the 16th of February. This one is going to be available to the 16th of February. And then we are doing another one on Monday night as well. So, Brooke, the one on Monday night will be perfect for you because we're talking about the thyroid specifically and how it relates to stubborn weight and our top 3 tips to do to actually get your thyroid and metabolism firing up. So that's a free webinar. Other than the free webinar, Brenda and myself do a 28-day cleanse program, breakthrough to feeling fantastic in a body you love. And that's basically, we're focusing on thyroid, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and cortisol during the 28 days. It's a 28-day cleanse meal plan, and we focus on the hormones and balancing the hormones out. So again, if you're looking at some more thyroid support, Brooke, that program will be great for you. So you'll see the links to that. It's a breakthrough program, and that actually starts on the 15th. So we've got the webinar on Monday night, that's the thyroid, and the actual 28-day program starts on the 15th. So I'll put links to the webinar here, and you can catch the replay. And then also, if you want some program details, just let me know. But it's breakthroughprogram.com.au, and you'll see where you can sign up if you want to join. And we talk about the thyroid, talk about foods that are good for the thyroid, minerals that are good for the thyroid, things that we found that inhibits the thyroid, like, elevated estrogen and other things in your diet and lifestyle. So it's a really comprehensive program for thyroid health. If you've got any questions, just let me know. So congratulations with your 5-day sugar-free challenge. We've still got a bit longer to go today. If you're only just doing it, congratulations for starting. I think it's a really good feat. I know it's difficult. And if you've got any questions, post them below. If you need any help, post it below. I'll be looking on during the day. So if you need any more moral support, any more guidance, feel free. And if you've got any more questions, post them. So hopefully I'll see you in the webinar in an hour, 12:30 p.m, 6 simple steps to reset your hormones and shed stubborn weight. And I'm looking forward to starting the program on the 15th with some of you. So until then, and I'll chat to you later. Bye.